What if Goku and Vegeta was sent to Earth? Let's get this video to 200 likes and I will continue the series. Also, share this video and comment down below, and then let's reach 10,000 subscribers, so I hope you guys enjoy. Now, Planet Vegeta, the events happen the exact same, with Frieza destroying the planet, as that was his goal anyway. But in this what if, when in different sides of the planet, King Vegeta and Bardock would both send their children away. As in this what if, they're both going to be infants. So in this what if, they actually send, without knowing, Goku and Vegeta both to planet Earth together. So both space pods would escape as planet Vegeta was destroyed. Now Frieza would be laughing, saying what beautiful fireworks. I do believe that Raditz and Nappa would still be survived, as they would still be on other planets doing their normal thing. That would happen the same, but sadly, all the other Saiyans have sadly passed away, as Goku and Vegeta are one of the few remaining Saiyans ever in Universe 7. Well, other than Broly. But now, back on Earth, the space pods would crash as an old man was walking across the trails. It was Grandpa Gohan. He would actually see the two space pods as they would actually land right next to each other, and two little children, or babies, were actually out of the space pod crawling around. It was Goku and Vegeta. So Grandpa Gohan would be really confused. He would hold both of them up and say they both had tails. He would be really weirded out, but he would soon accept them as his sons. And he would teach them all he knows, even martial arts training as well. But now, during this, Goku as an infant still does hit his head. But with Vegeta, when Vegeta falls out as well, Vegeta was actually able to catch himself, and he was alright. Now the reason for this is because Vegeta is far more powerful than Goku is. When Goku was an infant, he had a power level of like 1, probably like a 2. Now Vegeta as an infant in the Super Broly movie did show that he had a power level of around 600 as a baby in a little tank. So I'm going to just assume that his power level was 600 in this. So yeah, Vegeta is really powerful baby. Like, he's pretty much the most powerful person in the Dragon Ball saga, pretty much. Which is pretty insane if you actually think about it. So Goku would still hit his head and still be kind of goofy and everything else like that. Vegeta would still be pretty aggressive as a baby, but he would soon, adapt and do it, as Grandpa Gohan was a kind soul. But then, sadly, Grandpa Gohan would still pass away, as Goku and Vegeta would still become the Great Apes and accidentally kill him. But, as they're kind of like brothers, as they think they're like blood brothers, they would pretty much stick together no matter what. Now, Vegeta at this time, he does know about his Saiyan heritage, as he did go back to the space pod as he feels kind of a connection to it. Unlike Goku, who has horrible memory loss, Vegeta would actually watch and study what the space pods have, and show Goku. Now, Goku bumping his head, he doesn't really think much of it, but for Vegeta is different, as he knows that he is the Prince of all Saiyans, but he doesn't really think that's true, as he kind of, he doesn't really know, his plan is gone, so he doesn't have that sense of pride that he's always used to. This Vegeta is actually a little bit different. He's still the cocky, rude guy, but he's not as, I would say, negative and as brutish as the one that we all know and love, where he's always such an ass. But now, Goku and Vegeta would still meet Bulma. And Bulma, yes, would still be searching for the 4-star Dragon Ball, and obviously Bulma tries to, show herself off for them and everything else like that. Obviously, they're both not interested at all. Vegeta does have a special connection to Bulma. Those two would be arguing the most and hitting, threats back and forth to each other and rude comments, very similar to how when they first met, Vegeta calling her Bulmu or something. That would pretty much happen the exact same, with them comically going back and forth. Now Goku was really clueless, but I think they would actually give her the Dragon Ball as long as they can come along, which Bulma would agree. But it was chaos. And remember, Bulma could barely handle Goku. Imagine two little Saiyans running around. It was really, really tiring, and it would drive her mentally insane. But I do feel like with them being a lot more stronger together, I do feel like, they would really mix well. Now remember, both Goku and Vegeta, I would say, is around 12 years old. So power levels for them at this point, they're both training together, and Vegeta has amazing potential, plus Goku has amazing potential as well. Vegeta had a power level of 600 as an infant when he was a baby, firstborn. I do feel like with training, how Vegeta trains all the time, and Goku, obviously They got nothing else better to do, and they're sparring partners. I feel like Vegeta would have a power level of 2,000. And Goku would have a power level of 850. Now that does seem high for Goku, but it would make sense considering how powerful Vegeta is, and they've been fighting every day, all day. I mean, there's nothing else to do other than eat food and sleep. They just train, that's what Saiyans do. Now, Vegeta is not as powerful as he would be when he was 12, as a lot of people remember that in the original, I think Vegeta had a power level of nearly 12,000 when he was like 12 years old, back in the original Dragon Ball Z. But that's because he was on 10 times gravity on the planet, and he was also fighting Cybermen. I was like that. So I'm just giving him 2,000 for what it purposes. Now, most of the events would pretty much happen the exact same, just a lot more easier when they're dealing with threats and foes, because, I mean, just Goku himself, he can solo Dragon Ball right now. I mean, he can solo Dragon Ball. Not much of an issue. Vegeta can easily solo Dragon Ball. But now, they pretty much, Goku and Vegeta has a brother relationship, and they would still meet Master Roshi himself. And they would still train together. They would still meet Krillin. They would still meet Tien and Yamcha. Bulma, I do feel, would still fall for Yamcha. Now, Vegeta and Bulma would have that chemistry there, and you can just see that like they're meant to be together. But I do feel like Bulma would fall for Yamcha first, just because Yamcha's a little bit older looking, and he's the bandit, the bad boy. Which, I mean, Vegeta easily defeated him, but we're just saying for what it purposes that Bulma's still with Yamcha for now. Obviously, Master Roshi sees how powerful these two are. He doesn't really think he can train them that much, let alone fight them. But he does think that his, Kami-style workout could really help him out with their strength and everything, and also teach him the Turtle School martial art. So he does just that. Just way bigger weights and way more difficult training than the original. And Goku and Vegeta accept it heartedly. They are really excited to be training, and they are really exceeding his expectations. Now, during the Budokai when Goku fought Tien, most of the fighting would pretty much go the same way, just they're so much stronger, way more powerful than anybody else there. Master Roshi would even fight them, and I do feel like Master Roshi would actually do kind of good, and only reason why is because he has way more experience, and he does have some techniques that actually are pretty impressive, but I don't think he would last very well, and Goku would win. Now, against Tien, Goku would win, or Vegeta would win. They're pretty much so powerful now that it doesn't even matter. Now, I do feel like when they have their first match together, I do feel like Vegeta would win. Vegeta is a little bit too far ahead of Goku. If I'm just going to throw power levels out there now, after Master Roshi training, Vegeta's has to be near 2,500 to 3,000. Goku has to be near 1,500 at maximum, like 1,500. Vegeta is just too powerful. And Vegeta is more, ferocious, and he fights more like a Saiyan. So he's way more bloodthirsty than Goku is. But that's not saying that Vegeta would lose. Vegeta would have a really, really hard time beating Goku. It would be a really, really good match. But I feel like Vegeta would then end up winning because he's just too powerful right now. But that would just make their rivalry more better. And they're actually really happy. But this gives Goku more drive to train even harder to fight Vegeta again. After their fight, they would still waste all the money on food. Everything, that funny scene still happens the exact same between each other. But now, obviously, yes, Goku would still be training with the others and everything else. And, would the King Piccolo arc happen? We're about to jump into that. Now, King Piccolo. Would Goku be able to beat King Piccolo? Yes. I mean, Krillin doesn't even die in this scene. King Piccolo has zero chance against either Goku nor Vegeta. Now, would Goku drink the Ultra Divine Water? I think that he would. I still think that he would, just in case, since he's already there with Korin. And Vegeta, I don't think Vegeta could drink the water, just because Goku is super, super, super innocent. That's the only reason why he survived. And Goku theoretically died for a little bit and he came back. He almost died. Vegeta's a bit more negative and not as innocent and pure. I think he would probably die if he tried drinking that water. But Vegeta doesn't care about it, as he thinks that, that's just, he doesn't need that. Now, it does make Goku a little bit more powerful, which does help him. and they would easily kill King Piccolo. But before they do, King Piccolo would still spit out Piccolo Jr., and that would start the Piccolo Jr. arc. Now, during the Piccolo Jr. arc, most of the events would happen the same, just easier for everybody, especially when Goku fights Tien Shinhan, and Vegeta would, say, fight Krillin. All that would happen the same. Now, Piccolo doesn't really care about Vegeta. He has a bone to pick with Goku. Since Goku was the one who kind of killed his father, he did do the final blow to him. Piccolo doesn't like Vegeta because Vegeta helped him, but he really doesn't like Goku because Goku killed him. Now, Goku would still meet Chi-Chi, and they would actually still get married. So all that would happen the same. Now, at this point, Yamcha is still dating Bulma. I know, but that really does change. It really starts noticing, especially when Bulma sees how much Goku and Vegeta has grown. I mean, Vegeta's a man now, being 18, 19, same with Goku. I mean, everybody was shocked seeing how much they've grown together, and they're pretty much young men. So it would shock them seeing how much way more grown that they've been. And Bulma does find Vegeta really attractive. Since, Vegeta's a grown man, he's serious, he's thorough, he's no joke. And, actually Vegeta would smile, and he's actually really happy to see all of his friends, because he does consider them all friends. But now, I think we know what we're all here for. The final battle between Goku and Vegeta, the rematch. Now, during this battle, I would say that they're pretty much almost even. I still feel like Vegeta does have the slight upper hand. Goku, I would say, have a power level of around 5,000. The Ultra Divine Water, plus also training with Korn and Kami for the past 4 years, has really helped. Vegeta actually trained on his own. He actually trained around with Bulma's father and everything. Though didn't really see Bulma all that much, but Bulma's father did help him with giving him some technology to help him. So Vegeta kind of did some solo training for a while, as Vegeta's more of a solo guy too. We're not going to forget that about Vegeta, but he's more comfortable around family and friends. But Vegeta has a power level of around 6,000. It's around 1,000 power level difference, which does add up to a lot. But it would be a brutal, bloody fight between the two Saiyans. It would be worse than Piccolo Jr. versus Goku. They're pretty much almost dead even. And at the end of the fight, the two would crash into each other, and both would fall, being knocked out, as it was a tie. Neither Goku nor Vegeta won. But now they would be given senzu beans, and yes, Piccolo Jr., by the way, would be defeated, not much of a problem. Power level wise, Piccolo Jr. would probably be in the 500s or the 600s, just to be nice, but that would mean that Vegeta is like 10 times more powerful than him. If they fought, Vegeta would have easily defeated him, or Goku would have easily defeated Piccolo Jr. And so we can just cross that over. But that also gives Piccolo Jr. more of a time to train even harder than ever to try and keep up with these guys, as he does want to take over the world. But now, Bulma and Vegeta, during these years together, Goku and Vegeta would still be training together, and Goku would then marry Chi-Chi the day after. And now during this point of 5 years, Bulma and Vegeta would actually get together, and they would actually get married. And they would actually have a son as well. Now, Goku and Bulma, Goku and Chi-Chi had Gohan. Did you like what I did there with Goku and Bulma? That's for a what if later. Shh. But now Goku and Chi-Chi would still have Gohan, and Vegeta and Bulma would still have Trunks. And they would name the child. And both of these children, I do feel like they would meet up with each other, as Goku and Vegeta still train a lot together. And that'd be a really cool brotherly bond, as we all love, Gohan and Trunks having that friendship. So it'd be really similar like Goten and Trunks. But sadly, Chi-Chi's still on that tirade to where she does not want Gohan training. But Bulma doesn't care. Bulma thinks that yes, Trunks does need to be taught, but she understands where he came from and the fact that they're training. So, but Chi-Chi's a little bit different. She wants Gohan to be a great scholar and everything else. So that did not change, sadly. But Gohan would actually be a little bit more powerful as a child, because he has his father, he has Vegeta, and he even has Trunks as well. So he has all these different guys to train with him and everything. Gohan would like training. But now, as the 5 years would pass, Goku arrives to meet the gang once again. Now, he was alongside Vegeta as well, and Bulma and everybody else. They would all be really happy to see each other. They would introduce their two children to everybody, surprising them. And then Raditz would still show up. Raditz would still meet actually Piccolo first, and Piccolo would have a power level around 1,000. I would say around 1,200, but Raditz is power level 1,500. I do feel like he would scare Piccolo a little bit, and Piccolo would kind of back off, but he would still follow to see what happens. But now Raditz would still arrive on the Kami house, and he would still tell Goku about the Saiyan past, which they already know about, and the fact that why isn't the planet not destroyed. Raditz would be really surprised to see Prince Vegeta, as Raditz would actually acknowledge him and say, you are the prince of all the Saiyans, what are you doing on Earth and not doing your job? Vegeta doesn't care about this prince crap, he really doesn't care about it, as it sounds like a cool title, but he doesn't want it. Now, Raditz would try and take it by force by trying to take one of their sons. That would not go too well. As Raditz would even try to reach for them, Vegeta would appear and break Raditz's arm like it was a twig and kick him into the ocean. Remember, these guys are way more powerful. These guys are way more powerful. You know, like, even I would put them together of having around 10 to 12,000 power level each. I would say that Goku and Vegeta, they're around 12,000. They're pretty much even in power at this point. Raditz has zero opportunity. But luckily, Raditz did not come alone. Raditz had Nappa. Nappa shows up, and Nappa's actually pretty strong. They will admit that. Nappa has a power level of around 7,000, 7,500, and it's still not going to be enough, especially against two of them. But I do feel like Vegeta would handle Nappa, and Goku would handle Raditz, and both of them would sooner or later get destroyed. Not much of a chance. Now, Vegeta deep down did not want to kill them, because he knows that they're pretty much, other than him, Goku, and their two sons, they're the last Saiyans left. There's no other Saiyans. But he hurt his family, and they're gonna destroy Earth, which Vegeta loves the planet. He's not gonna let that go. But now, Vegeta would explain to Goku the detail about like why the Saiyans did what they did, like the slave trade, and how they like sold planets, and they really sold workers and made them work like slaves pretty much, and how they also traded planets for currency and technology, which is what the Saiyans truly did, and it's sad. But Vegeta says that luckily we're not like that, so it's fine. But Vegeta does have flashbacks of Frieza. And the reason why is because on Nappa's scouter, he hears his voice, and Frieza nearly collapses Vegeta. Just the voice of Frieza makes Vegeta fall to his knees in fear, shaking. As Vegeta remembers Frieza very well, he knows how powerful Frieza is. As Vegeta also studied in the Saiyan Space Pod about Frieza and what Frieza is, he would tell Goku about it, and Goku has heard about Frieza before, and he knows how powerful he is. That honestly makes Goku pretty pumped up, as Goku kind of wants to see how strong this guy is and go fight him. Vegeta would grab him and tell him, "Kakarot, you stupid bastard!" You know, like, Frieza is not somebody to fight. That is a death sentence. And the fact that he actually heard their conversation about the Dragon Balls and about the fact that Vegeta is alive, that would spark Frieza's interest. That means that Frieza's most likely going to either be heading to Earth. But luckily, Vegeta was relieved to hear that Frieza is not heading to Earth. Frieza wants to head to planet Namek, which is really far away across the galaxies, but to find the Dragon Balls, as Frieza can wish for immortality. Now, Goku says, well, we can't let him do that. He's going to destroy those innocent people and hurt people. As Vegeta would agree, but how are they going to get there? Then they remember the Saiyan space pods, as Bulma during this time has collected them and actually built a space pod. Just joking. She's built a giant space machine and also even added gravity training, as Vegeta does know that the planet does have 10 times gravity on planet Vegeta. So he says, why don't we try and stick to our Saiyan roots and add that so we can get naturally adapted? Which I feel like Bulma would agree to that. So that gravity room, Bulma will keep on adding more and more and more, as Vegeta actually already trained in a temporary or an experimental gravity room of around 10 times. It was really rough, but Vegeta was able to do it, and I think that Goku would try it out as well. They say, well, we need to get way more higher gravity and go to the planet. we can get sensu beans and everything, but Bulma says that we need to wait for about a year. Bulma will go with them, alongside Gohan really wants to go with them, and Krillin, so they have a whole team ready to go. Now, during the meantime of that year, Goku and Vegeta trained hard, like never before. They would train for a year non-stop together to get as strong as possible, and even train on the way to Namek. This means, by the way, since Goku never went to King Kai, no Kaioken, and there is no Spirit Bomb either. And that is it for this What If, you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the longer What Ifs that I'm doing. Instead of like the 10 to 12 minutes, I am making them a little bit longer. Some of you guys have been asking me to do that, to make them like 20 minutes. It's not very easy to do it, but I am enjoying it because you guys asked for it, and I give you what you guys want. Let me know what you think about this series. I have so many awesome ideas for it. And yes, I also noticed that you guys have been wondering what is with my thumbnails. Why has some of them had the text on them, and some of them are like full arts pretty much? The reason why is just because I love doing full art thumbnails, and I also love doing text thumbnails. So as a matter of fact, comment down below if you made it this far, what type of thumbnails do you prefer? Do you prefer my thumbnails with the text on them, or do you prefer the thumbnails that are pretty much like a full art thumbnail? Let me know down in the comments down below. I love you guys so much. What if Goku and Vegeta was sent to Earth Part 2? During the 1 year of hard training, near the end of it, Goku has an idea. As he offers to Vegeta, Goku remembers the hyperbolic time chamber that Popo and Kami showed him. As a kid, he only lasted about a month in there. But he thinks that together, they can make it a year inside of there. And he explains it to Vegeta, the whole thing, and Vegeta would actually smirk and agree with that, as he thinks this would be great training. With the help of Bulma, food, capsules, and also Popo preparing it, they would go in for a whole year together, training harder than ever. As they would bring some sensu beans as well, Corn had some ready for them in advance, as now their power is way higher. Now before going in, I would say that this is near the end of the year when they trained, because they were getting ready to go to Namek for Frieza. They had a power level of around 40,000. After training together for nearly a year inside of the hyperbolic time chamber, they're way more powerful. So the year goes by, or a day, and the two would come out with torn armor and G, both way more powerful than before. Their tails were tucked away. As they fist bumped smirking, they were stronger than they ever thought. Now, for Zenkais and more, I mean, Goku one time had a 33 times Zenkai in the Frieza saga, just for getting beat up pretty bad. Zenkais are really irrelevant, and Zenkais are only for plot-induced purposes, so I'm going to just add that to the what if, so just ignore it. So I'm going to say injured Zenkais, because they have sensu beans, mixed with duo training, and 10 times Earth gravity, plus the atmosphere and everything in the hyperbolic time chamber. I'm just going to say, and this is, pretty much lowballing it, 200 times increase, which is lowballing considering a single near-depth Zenkai for Goku is 33 times, as during this year, Gohan and Trunks has been training under Piccolo. As yes, the same would happen with Piccolo warming up to them and, training them to prepare them for Namek, and just to prepare them for anything. Because Piccolo doesn't know that if they go to Namek, they might not be able to come back. So he wants to teach them, as he sees that they have incredible potential. And he would teach them how to self-train, train with themselves and together, and also to just learn how to fight in general. So both of Gohan and Trunks, I would say that they're around 6-7 years old, so they have amazing potential either way, especially Gohan. Trunks is really powerful as well. I would say after training with Piccolo for over a year, pretty hard training, and also training together, they would have a power level around 12,000 each, which I think is pretty fair considering the potential that Gohan has is literally makes zero sense. Trunks is really powerful too, if they use him right. Well, because Akira Toriyama does not like certain characters. Now for Piccolo, with Piccolo having the motivation, training with these Saiyans, and doing everything else, I do believe that Piccolo would have a power level of around 50,000. Just because of how strong Goku and Vegeta was, Piccolo having the mental capacity to push himself more than ever, I think Piccolo could do it, as Piccolo is really slept on a lot in Dragon Ball. But now, Piccolo would arrive on Kami Lookout, and he would scoff seeing Goku and Vegeta. He would walk past them. Now, of course, Gohan and Trunks would be super happy to meet them, their fathers after, almost a year, Piccolo has a bigger cat to fish. You like that one? Piccolo would then walk up to Kami, and they already knew what they were going to do. Kami knows how thorough Frieza is, not to mention the whole army and everything, as Kami knows that he's not strong enough to protect Earth anymore. Goku and Vegeta are so much more powerful. And so that Piccolo is going to his homeland, he's going to need all the power that he can get to save the people. Now, would Kami do this realistically? I don't think so, because he thinks how evil Piccolo is. For what purposes, we don't want Piccolo being left behind, so we're going to do a little power oomph for Piccolo. So, Kami and Piccolo would do fusion. But before they do, Piccolo, of course, would stare at him and say, I know how strong he is, but if we're going to do this, I control the ride, not you, old man. Well, Kami would nod, as, remember, Kami has all the knowledge and everything, they would fuse. Now, this Kami is actually a little younger and not as weak as he was, as he got super, super sick and, near his deathbed in the Android Saga. But, early Frieza Saga, not even Frieza Saga even started yet, in the Saiyan Saga and such, I would say that Kami could still fight and stuff like that, but he's obviously not up there with the big dogs no more. Because even when he fought Piccolo Jr., he was posing as a human, and he was able to kind of, throw some hands a little bit, even though he's way older. So I'm going to just say that Kami's not at death's door yet, but he's definitely getting there. But I'm going to just say that he's a little bit stronger, so their fusion is actually a little bit stronger than before. Popo would obviously cry and be really upset that Kami's gone, and of course. But now, we don't really know the power boost that Namekian fusion does. But I'm just going to say, because Piccolo went from really, really, really struggling against the Frieza, versus after he fused with Kami, he was able to be on par with the Super Saiyan, and actually surpass it almost, because he was able to go toe-to-toe with Android 17, who was stated to be a little bit stronger than Android 18, and he was pretty much evenly matched with him. So Vegeta got slapped around like he was a toy, and Super Saiyan Goku had the same thing. So I'm going to just say that that was like a Super Saiyan almost level boost. So just to throw his number out there, I'm going to just say 25 times, putting Piccolo's power level up around 1.2 million. As Piccolo nodded, he was ready to go and fight this Frieza. As they would prepare the spaceship, they would train along the way there for the 2 weeks. Not much of a massive boost any of them would really have, but they would have a few sensu beans left just in case. They arrive on Namek as they can sense Frieza was nearby. As they would fly off to go meet him, of course the scouters would sense some pretty meh power levels. Obviously they're suppressing their power levels. They wouldn't really care about it. But then, Piccolo is watching as they find Frieza with Dodoria, Zarbon, and a whole group of henchmen, who was looking around for the Namekian Dragon Balls going village to village, and they were obviously slaughtering his people. Now Piccolo, being fused with Kami, has a bit more of a connection with him as well, would really be pissed off seeing that. Piccolo's thorough, he ain't got time for this, and he can sense Frieza, and Frieza's pretty powerful, but Piccolo thinks he's even stronger than he is, so he thinks he can handle Frieza. So Piccolo would fly in and kick Dodoria away, nearly killing him pretty much, as saving a Namekian named Dende, and Piccolo would tell him to get out of here. As Frieza was surprised, he would clap a little bit, saying that was pretty impressive. Seeing some worms as they're nothing to him, as Piccolo would glare at Frieza, the others show themselves as they tap their scouters. It would show a power level of around 10,000 for Piccolo. Frieza says that's pretty impressive for a Namekian, but says for Zarbon and the others to handle him. But as we all know, Piccolo would easily slap all of them like they were flies without even trying. Piccolo would do it in a vanish too. Boom, 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 boom. They're out. They're dead. As Piccolo would tell everybody else that you need to go, and he would tell Goku and Vegeta to take that Namekian away and just get away from here as possible. And take the Dragon Ball with him too, as yes, there was one of the Dragon Balls. Which Goku and Vegeta would do so, as they thought that the Dragon Balls were like the Earth Dragon Balls, so Frieza can just say, grant my wish or something, and that can happen. So they would get away. But now Piccolo would finally be in the limelight, and Piccolo would have his battle with Frieza. Piccolo was serious, as he would then take his weighted clothes off, and he would crack his neck, and it would boost his power level to around 2 million. This is his maximum. Now for Goku and Vegeta, Dende would tell them to go as fast as they can and get to Elder Guru, as Elder Guru can help them. But now, he would fight First Form Frieza. Now, first form Frieza is 530,000 and is very powerful indeed, but Piccolo doesn't really need to try. Piccolo is way more powerful than first form Frieza, as Frieza would try and punch Piccolo, but Piccolo would just vanish around and mess with him a little bit, and then Piccolo with a single gut punch would shatter his armor and make him spit blood over the place. Frieza doesn't have much of a chance. As Frieza would then scream and go into his second form out of desperation, this is when the fight would get a little bit interesting. They would trade blows back and forth, but Piccolo still was way more powerful. Piccolo was actually pretty much a lot more stronger than he was when he fought second form Frieza in the original. He is, in my opinion, I think, stronger than even third form Frieza. He can actually take on third form Frieza, but it'll be really close. But obviously fourth form Frieza, Piccolo doesn't have a chance. But now, Frieza would go into his second form, and they would begin their battle. Very similar to the original, but just Piccolo does an easier job of handling him. And Frieza would say, I have another transformation, and he would then transform into his third form. Now, Piccolo would actually worry about this, as Frieza is pretty close to his full power. The two would clash, but Piccolo would start getting the upper hand, as Piccolo does have more fighting skill than Frieza. Fighting skill does matter in a fight, especially in Dragon Ball, if you use skill. This has been shown a lot more in Dragon Ball Super in some scenes. And Piccolo is a bit more powerful. So, I do feel like Piccolo would get the drop on Frieza and really start to do some damage to him. But Piccolo would be exhausted and tired as well, as before he was going to beat Frieza, Frieza, in desperation, would do everything he can to try and hold Piccolo off. Remember, Piccolo is trying to hold Frieza off so they can get as far away as possible and do what they need to do, and then he was thinking about escaping, but he's thinking he'd try and kill him first. But now, in a desperation, Frieza would go into his fourth form, as Piccolo was shocked. Piccolo would try and attack Frieza, but it was at no use. Piccolo would grab his arm similar way to Danail and snap it off. Piccolo doesn't have any chance, as Piccolo in desperation would use his ki as a blinding attack and he would escape, as Frieza cannot sense energy. He has to use his eyes to track them. But now, Frieza, after not being able to find them, would be really pissed, and he would fly back to his ship and he would call the Ginyu Force, as yes, Frieza knows that he can handle them, but he does want more eyes to be around the planet, and the Ginyu Force has scouters, which Frieza can use and find them. So, the Z-Gang would meet Elder Guru and Nail, who, after reading their minds, would offer to help them to get their potentials unlocked. Now, I do feel like Elder Guru would unlock Dende's potential, and he was ready to unlock Goku and Vegeta and Piccolo's potential. But before they could do that, the ships would land as they sense the power coming into the planet. The Ginyu Force arrives. Now, Vegeta said he'll go out there and handle these jokes. Vegeta would easily take down Guldo. Even though Guldo would try his time-stopping attack, it would not be enough to stop Vegeta. Then, Raccoon would try to attack him. Vegeta would one-shot him like what Goku did. And Jason Burger would be a little bit longer. You know, they would kind of go back and forth, try to do their combination attacks. But Vegeta was wasting no time with this. He easily takes them down. But then, with Captain Ginyu, they would go back and forth, but Vegeta was so much more powerful. Way more powerful than Captain Ginyu. But then, out of desperation, Captain Ginyu would reveal his Change Now technique, as he would then be able to swap bodies with Vegeta. But now remember, when Captain Ginyu switches bodies, he's not even close to as powerful as what the original user was, because he's not used to the body, he's not used to the power, and everything else like that. So he's actually a lot more weaker, way weaker than Vegeta was. So, as they would see what happened before Elder Guru knew anything, Piccolo says he'll go out there and handle it. And Piccolo was already healed at this point. Dende would heal him, or they can also give him a Senzu Bean. Piccolo would go battle Vegeta and pretty much slap him around a little bit, and it would cause Captain Ginyu to try and switch bodies with him, and Piccolo would trick them, and pretty much Captain Ginyu would have swapped bodies right back with Vegeta. Vegeta was back to normal again, and obviously how pissed off Vegeta was, Vegeta would fire an attack and completely disintegrate Captain Ginyu without even trying. So Captain Ginyu's gone. There's no Frog Ginyu or nothing like that. So now, they would all go back in there, and they would get their potentials unlocked by Elder Guru. Goku and Vegeta are both 16 million. This is a ×2 boost, by the way. Piccolo would be around 4 million, and Dende doesn't really matter, as Bulma would go to help Guru with Nail to get away, with the help of Nail, as the battle begins. Now remember, Frieza would sooner or later find them because the Ginyu Force was there, and Frieza used a scouter to track them. So Frieza knows where they are. And he's been wanting to find Elder Guru all along. And not to mention Nail and everybody else. Yeah, Frieza's been waiting for this. But now, Vegeta's been waiting for this. Vegeta would go out and he would begin his legendary battle with Frieza. Now remember, Vegeta is way more powerful than even base form Goku was in the Frieza saga. He would actually do really pretty good against Frieza. And actually trade blows and go back and forth and battle between each other. Actually doing a little bit of damage to Frieza, surprising Frieza about how powerful this Saiyan is. Now Frieza would even offer Vegeta and Goku to come join him in his army. They would live like gods. But of course, they would instantly decline that, saying they have everything that a man needs. The family, their home, their children, they don't need nothing else. Of course, this would piss Frieza off. He would then say, fine, then you all taste to learn of my real power. Frieza would even go up to 80% of his power, as he's tired of this. He does not like Vegeta because of his father and everything else. He hates the Saiyans. Then he would start to beat down on Vegeta. Now, Goku and Piccolo would fly in to start helping him, and they would do a lot better. Because remember, when Goku and Vegeta attack together, we stated that if they attack in sync, they are way more powerful together. So, if you put Goku and Vegeta together, they would have a power level around 32 million if they're, both on sync battling Frieza. Which would do a lot more better, but the problem is Frieza's just way too strong. Even with 80%, he's in the high 80s, in the 80 millions. It's not enough. Piccolo would try and do support, like how Android 17 did with help of Jiren. It's not enough. Frieza is too powerful. They tried every trick in the book. It ain't working. Now, this is the problem though. As they would all stand there defeated, Frieza would mock them and laugh. As he says, when was the last time that he had a battle like this? Maybe against his father? As this was really a lot of fun for him. But he's grown tired of it as they showed everything that they had. Now, Frieza says, who to kill first? Let me kill this Saiyan. As he wants to save Vegeta for last. And he wants to save Piccolo for second to last too. As Piccolo embarrassed him in the first fight. And he wants to save Vegeta for last though. Because Vegeta is the main worm that he hates the most. So he's going to kill Goku first. He would then fire a death beam. As Goku was frozen, he was too tired to move, and he could not deflect the attack, as he knew he was probably done for. But then, Vegeta would yell no, and Vegeta would push Goku out of the way, and the death beam would go through his chest, and Vegeta would fall over. Now Goku would hold him tightly, as Vegeta was nearly crying almost, saying that you need to kill him, you need to kill him. And Vegeta's like, he murdered my father, he murdered your father, he murdered your mother, my mother, he murdered everybody. And he's still doing it again. And then Vegeta would then pass away. Just joking. As Vegeta says, he must. As Vegeta would actually go unconscious. Now Goku thinks that he passed away. He's too blinded by rage. Goku would snap. And he would scream so loud, it would shake the surrounding area. And it would sound like a great ape. His pupils turned yellow. As a greenish yellow aura surrounds Goku, Goku would bulk up in size and even grow a few inches taller as he would stare down at Frieza. Now Goku's hair would be standing up like he was almost in like a Super Saiyan state, but a little bit different, as he would glare at Frieza with death. Now Frieza was shocked as he did not know what this power was, and he thinks that this must be like a Super Saiyan or something, because no Saiyan has a transformation like this. Now Piccolo would, feed Vegeta a senzu bean and help him. As Vegeta would get up, he watches Goku walk forward growling as he glares death at Frieza. Now Frieza would obviously mock him, saying, is this the legendary Super Saiyan? Obviously just like a beast. Goku didn't even respond or nothing. Goku mid-walking would tear the other half of his top G off, being shirtless now. He would then, in a quick vanish, gut punch Frieza in a burst of speed, making him spit blood on the ground and his pupils go white. As Frieza falls to his knees, Goku would stomp on Frieza into the ground, and then grab his tail and spin and throw him away as Frieza would hit the water. Now Frieza would recover, and he would float up as Frieza would fly in, throwing a fury of combo attacks at Goku, but it was not enough. Now Goku would even stand there growling and let the attacks hit him, as it was only just moving him a little bit, but it wasn't even hurting Goku at all. As then, he would then roar and shoot a ki beam from his mouth. As it would blow Frieza through a few mountains, Frieza would get up as he was shocked, as Goku would then beat down on Frieza, worse than he ever did in any original. But Frieza noticed that there wasn't that much skill. Goku was more primal and animal-like, like a beast, doing these things. As this version of Goku is not also really thinking straight. He's a lot like Broly. He would do things that he would not originally do and take risk. He's like berserk, and he'll be eating any damage like he doesn't feel it. This is a lot like how Broly does. So in desperation, Frieza would go into his full power, bulking up in size. Goku isn't fazed by this. As they would battle, shaking Namek, Goku would charge a full power attack, and it would blow Frieza in half. Now Goku, like an Uzaru, would then start stomping and going off attacking Namek in a blind rage. Remember, Goku's still in his Akari state. As Vegeta would then walk up to Frieza without a cold expression, and he says, "Who's the strongest now?" And he would finish Frieza off, killing him. Now Vegeta would see that Goku was in that form that they unlocked in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. As a flashback, in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, both were panting as they were both using that form, trying to train the Uzaru state, as they think that they can control it in their base form. As Vegeta would then start doing it, because it's easier for Vegeta, since Vegeta is of royal family. Goku could never really get the hang of it, as he would start losing his control into the Uzaru, as Goku couldn't really control it. But Vegeta didn't really have much of a problem. Of course, the power was hard to hold in, but the rage and the animalistic state, Vegeta could handle that really without much of an issue. But now, Vegeta knows that he has to stop Goku, because Goku's going apeshit, literally. But now Vegeta would take a breath, and he would bulk in size like he was in royal blue with his bulky muscles, and he would transform into the Akari form. Now, how can Vegeta control it? Like I said before, he's royal blood, and he can control the form a lot easier. Now, Goku never really could. Plus, Goku mixed in with the high anger and not being able to control it is a bad element making. So, Vegeta would find Goku, and the two would actually battle a little bit, but Vegeta was able to knock sense into Goku, as then Goku would revert, and he would hug Vegeta happy that Vegeta was alive. He thought that he died. As they would shake hands, and they're happy that Frieza's gone, they would meet back up, and with Bulma and everybody else, they were all happy that everything was okay. As the Namekians, especially Guru, would all thank them, they would use the Dragon Balls and wish everyone Frieza killed back. As all the Namekians were back and happy, the gang would then take the 2-week ship back on Earth. They would all meet up with their families. As Bulma, of course, was with them. Chi-Chi would then tackle Goku and put him in an arm lock and say, "Where have you been for so long?" Blah, blah, blah. Gohan and Trunks would hug their fathers, who was happy to see them. And they also want to show off their powers. They've been training super hard, so it would be like a father and son battle. But that's for later. They would all have a big old party and everything, being happy, eating a lot, as in deep space, on a spaceship, Cooler crushed his glass of wine. As his father told him what happened, both of them are going to go to Earth right away and end this issue. What if Goku and Vegeta was sent to Earth Part 2? As a year would pass, Earth was finally at peace. Now, a lot of guys are going to be asking, well, what about Namek? What about everything else? Well, after the events of Frieza, Goku, Vegeta, and everybody else would use the Namekian Dragon Balls to wish everybody back to life that Frieza killed, and repair any damage that the Namekian planet has had. But, back to the main thing. But now, as we last took off, Cooler was looking for revenge. Now, it's been over a year since the events of Frieza has happened. And Cooler, he's finally arrived. But now his spaceship would land, and it was none other than Cooler himself, who was with his squad. Now, most of the events would happen the same. This is kind of mixing in with the Cooler movie, The Revenge of Cooler. So Goku took the Z-Gang camping to have some fun, and enjoy some peace, as Earth was peaceful right now. Now, mostly everybody came, other than Vegeta, as Vegeta was actually off-planet training. That's the usual for Vegeta. But now, Goku was with Gohan. Now, very similar, they noticed that something was wrong. As then, Cooler's men would start attacking them. And then, Cooler actually attacked Goku and actually damaged his back. And Goku had to be kept and hidden in the cave until they can get a sensu bean to bring him back. All that happens the exact same. And yes, Piccolo still does fight most of the men and absolutely demolishes them. This Piccolo is even more powerful. And now in this What If as well, Piccolo is actually able to fight Cooler a little bit. This version of Piccolo is way more powerful than the original in the movie. way more powerful. I think that he would be able to box with Cooler for a little while. Now, this is 4th form Cooler, not 5th form at all. But, as we all know, it won't be enough because Cooler can just raise his battle power even higher and higher and higher, as he is similar strength to Frieza. Now, Piccolo's not there yet, but hopefully he will be soon. But now Goku got healed, and he was ready to fight Cooler. Now, Goku thinks that Cooler was actually Frieza, but of course Cooler quickly shuts that up, and he's like, no, I'm his brother, his older brother, and I'm the strongest, which of course they always say, and I'm not my brother. But I honestly don't care that you killed him. The only thing that annoys me is that a Saiyan did it, and it just stained my family's reputation and honor. That is the only reason why I'm here. And Frieza obviously cannot do his job, so I'm going to end the Saiyans myself. That is what I'm here for, not for Frieza. Because Cooler doesn't care about Frieza, they don't care about each other, he just cares about the image that their family has, because it's just business. But now, Goku here, when he battles 4th form Cooler, is way stronger than he was in the original movie. And he's way stronger than he was in the Frieza saga in the original as well, way more powerful. Cooler would actually have a bit of a hard time with Goku. I would say they're, getting near even until Cooler would then go into his 5th form. This would shock everybody, as Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and Goku would all battle Cooler, working together, trying to figure out a plan to take this monster down. But it was not enough to defeat him. Cooler was way too powerful. I mean, they tried everything they can. It wasn't enough. Even Gohan, who's not even a slouch, he's been training a lot recently, he can't even touch Cooler, even though he's still a kid. But Gohan's not a slouch either. Piccolo's not a slouch. He couldn't even mess with Cooler. Goku, in his Ikari state, would then stare down Cooler, and this is when the fight would get a bit more interesting. As I would say that Goku, and I'm adding in Vegeta as well, both their power levels are around the same, being around 20 million. So I would say around 20 million, as in the What If prior, it was around 16 million. So I would say after a Zenkai, a year of some training, I would say around 20 million. So adding 10 times, that's around 200 million in Goku's Ikari state. Now this battle will actually be pretty good. Goku would actually do pretty well-ish against Cooler. He would do a lot better than he did originally than he is now. Now Goku over the year has been able to learn to control the Ikari state, but he still struggles with it a little bit. So he's kind of like a bit more primal-like. Like, how Super Saiyan 4 made Goku a little bit more, bloodlusting battle and a bit more brutal, because that's just what it does. It's like as the Saiyan forms get higher, you get more and more brutal. Like with Super Saiyan 1, 2, especially 3 makes you different, and then Super Saiyan 4 especially does, which I think is pretty interesting that they did that way. But now Goku will be trading blows back and forth with Cooler, but Cooler obviously had the upper hand. Cooler was holding back as well, as Cooler thinks, so this is the Super Saiyan that defeated my brother? This is laughable. Now I would say that Cooler is in the 500s, the 500 million range, even though that does sound high, but I'm just putting him there just for what it purposes. So Goku's kind of close, but not really close enough to touch Cooler, sadly. But then Goku will be beaten down into his base form as he laid there, but before Cooler could take him out, Vegeta would save the day. As Vegeta, yes, sensed that Cooler was coming, as he sensed a high dark power on the way to the planet, he hopped in his ship and was right behind Cooler. Remember, Cooler and all them cannot sense energy, and Vegeta was far enough away to where he would not be detected by scanners. So Vegeta would have his arms crossed in his usual Saiyan pride fashion, and Vegeta said, "You're not taking anyone down around here, you're going to fight me." And Vegeta would go into his Ikari state. Now Cooler thinks, oh, he can go Super Saiyan as well, this is fun. Goku would go into his Ikari state, and both of them would fight Cooler together. Now together, they would have a combined power of 400 million or so. Goku's probably a little bit weaker because he's injured, but that would do a lot more better against Cooler. Since Goku and Vegeta have been training ever since they were really little kids, they know how each other fights, and they can fight really well together. And they fight in sync. As Whis even stated in Dragon Ball Super, if Goku and Vegeta really teamed up together and even fought the likes of Beerus, you could actually give Beerus a little bit of a battle. You can actually really push Beerus a little bit. But obviously their characters just are like yin and yang. They don't ever want to work together. They're more of a solo fighter. But Goku and Vegeta knows in this scenario Now, they are closer as they're like brothers, and on top of that, they know how powerful Cooler is, and they do not have a choice. If they don't work together, Cooler's going to kill everybody and destroy the planet. And that's not going to happen. So they would try everything, as Goku has an idea. He thinks, why don't we combine both of our attacks together and we can do a surprise attack? As Krillin was still awake, Krillin says, yeah, I can do my solar flare ability, and I can blind them just in time, and you can fire a full power attack. That has to have damaged him enough, or possibly kill him. Now, they actually planned it up. As Cooler was standing there saying, are you finished with their grand scheme? As everybody would nod, they would get to work. Piccolo would wrap his arm around Cooler to try and hold him back, and then go on to fire some key blasts at Cooler, which wouldn't really do too much. And then Krillin would then do a legendary solar flare. That would actually blind Cooler, who would grab his eyes as he would rip out of Piccolo's arms, and actually damage his arm, but he would grab his eyes, think, my eyes. But Goku and Vegeta was ready, as Vegeta charged up a massive gout gun, and Goku charged up a full power Kamehameha. They would put their hands all together, and they would fire a full key blast attack. You can call it the Gala Kamehameha, or whatever you want to call it. And it would hit Cooler full force, and then it was a massive explosion. As the dust would settle, they don't see Cooler around here, as they would bend, pant, and go to base form, as they used every ounce of their energy. As they think that it's all over, they don't sense his energy right now. Until Cooler would then appear. He would actually have some little bit of scratches on him, and he would actually be bleeding from his mouth a little bit, as he would actually spit on the floor, and the mask would then, go back on his face, and he'll be like, that was a really impressive attack, but did you really think that was enough to take me down? As Cooler thinks, I really thank you for warming me up. Now I'm really going to get ready. As then Cooler would put the beat down on both Goku and Vegeta, beating them down into submission, torturing them almost, similar to what Broly did in the movie. As Cooler wants them to suffer for what they did. And to even make him bleed really sends him over the edge. He was just going to kill him and that's it. Now he wants him to suffer. But now, both of them, he would kick Vegeta into the rock pillar. As Vegeta doesn't know what to do. Goku doesn't know what to do as well. As Goku tries going into their Akari state, but it doesn't work. As they don't have enough energy. But he was not going to get up. As he kept trying to attack Cooler, it did nothing to him. As he would keep beating down on Goku, a lot like, well, we already know, Goku ran out of options. He fell as he was on his knees. Now Cooler wants Goku to really suffer, since this is not the end. Cooler would then aim his death beams as he would blast Gohan and Piccolo, nearly killing them as they lay there in smoke, badly damaged. And then he would start torturing Vegeta, breaking his arm, sorry Android 18, and making him scream in agony as Goku snapped. He would scream as giant beams of lightning energy would crash all around him. It would hit him as his hair rises and flickers. Goku would transform into the Super Saiyan of legend. Goku has now become a Super Saiyan, and his golden aura then surround his body. As he was seething in anger, he would glare at Cooler with death in his eyes. Now, everybody was shocked seeing this, mainly Vegeta, because the other guys are knocked out. But Vegeta and Krillin were staring in shock, as Vegeta was like, is that a Super Saiyan? As Vegeta thinks that the Akari state was a Super Saiyan, but maybe he thinks this has to be the next level. As Cooler would laugh, saying, finally, there's the Super Saiyan. I was waiting for you to come out. I have been wanting to see one ever since I heard about it, as this has been a legend for thousands of years. But Goku would not be hearing any of it. Goku would kind of manhandle him very similar to what he did in the Cooler movie, the Revenge of Cooler. Cooler doesn't have any chance. As he would try to attack Goku, it would do nothing to him. As Goku would just grab his hand saying, look around, you're hurting people. What have they done to you? I cannot allow you to just hurt innocent people and allow you to get joy out of hurting. As Goku would state, you are just like your brother. You enjoy hurting people, and you get joy out of being over them in power. Well, this is not going to happen. As I am the light in the darkness, I am the good that will tackle all evil. I am Son Goku, a Super Saiyan, or an ally to good, or a nightmare to you. And then he would gut punch Cooler, making him spit blood, and then he would deliver a blow right to his face, shattering the mask that was protecting his mouth. As Cooler was running out of options, in really bad haste, he he would then form a supernova, which, remember, he can do a lot more faster than his brother could. He would then throw the attack down, as a very similar scene happens when Goku catches it and would scream as he would use his own blast to push the supernova right into Cooler, as it would blast Cooler right towards the sun and hit Cooler in the sun. And now Cooler would then remember that back when the two space pods were leaving with Goku and Vegeta, as Frieza must have missed it, he says, let them go. They're not going to be a problem. As Cooler reverts back to base and the sun, burning alive, he says, I could have never had this happen. I could have killed them. And then Cooler would burn to death. He was disintegrated. As Goku would look at his hands, he would then collapse, reverting to base form, falling to the ground. As Krillin would luckily have some sensu beans left over that Korn would give to him, he would heal everybody up and everybody was okay. But now Vegeta asked Goku, how did you turn into a Super Saiyan? How did you do it? Goku doesn't even know how he did it. He didn't even know what happened. It was just a blur to him. But he's really glad that he did, he guessed, because if it wasn't for that Super Saiyan power, he would not have been able to defeat Cooler. But now Goku has a new obstacle to look to. He really wants to learn how to control that form, so he can get into it himself. And as for Vegeta, Vegeta now has a new drive to want to get that form more than anything. But now the Z Fighters would go back to the family. And obviously Chi-Chi would attack Goku and Bulma would be attacking Vegeta, saying, oh, you guys are idiots, you could have gotten yourself killed and everything else, the usual goofy stuff. But they were all happy as they all had a nice feast, and everything was at peace for now. As in a lab, somewhere, far away, there was a scientist who was laughing maniacally, saying that the androids will soon be complete. And, nearby as well, a time ship will be landing, and a young man with a sword will be walking out to find Son Goku. And that is it for this What If, you guys. Thank y'all for watching. I'm sorry that I haven't been uploading as much. As y'all may notice, I've only uploaded once every like 4 days or so for the past 2 videos. And I have a good explanation as to why. The main reason why is because where my job is right now, they have me working 6 days straight without a day off. So I have really not had time to do YouTube. Because when I get home, I would have to pass out and then wake up. As it was also having me get to work even more early, so I would have to go to bed earlier. So I would pretty much get off at like 11 at night, and then have to be at bed at like 12 or 1. And obviously I have other things to do, such as chores and everything else to keep my apartment clean. So that's the reason why that's not going to be happening. So don't think that I'm getting burned out and I don't want to do videos no more. Like, oh, and now we're going to go to 5 days in a week and then a month. No, that's not going to happen. It is going to go back to 3 days. And if my YouTube really starts doing really well, then it is going to spike up and go to 2 days. And possibly, if it becomes full time, I might do 1 day. But we'll see. We're not there yet. Thank you guys all for the support. We're getting close to 8,000. We're getting only 2,000 away then to 10,000. We can do it. Thank you guys so much for the support. Post your comments down below. Let me know what other what ifs you guys want me to do. And what do you guys think about this what if series so far. And I will talk to you all on the next one.